Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have one of the sentence placement question, and the direction for the sentence for this question is there is a sentence that is missing in the paragraph below. Look at the paragraph and decide where option 1, 2, 3, or 4 the following sentence would best fit. So which of the sentence? Here is the sentence. The sentence states this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates in the region. So sentence states what this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates in the region. So, and the paragraph states that, let's read the passage and try to understand despite the blanks are provided. The government of country X recently announced a series of tax incentives aimed at attracting foreign investors to simulate economic growth. These incentives include tax breaks for companies establishing operations in specific industries, um, such as renewable energy and technology, and you can say that technology. As a result, it is anticipated that more jobs will be created in these sectors, contributing to overall economic prosperity. Furthermore, the government plans to invest in infrastructure projects to support the expansion of these industries. This initiative aligns with the government's long-term strategy to diversify the economy and reduce dependency on traditional sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. Okay, so we understand the text. It seems like there might be some ideas which have been pointed. Uh, so what we need to do, we need to correctly place the missing sentence. This development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates in the region in the paragraph. So what does it say? If we go for this, the analysis of these blanks. So what do we find out? Option one, where if we talk about this option suggests placing the sentence after discussing what tax incentives, right? This placement makes sense because it directly connects the potential consequence of the tax incentives, right? Uh, Connects the potential consequence of the tax incentive, which is the job creation and reduce unemployment rates. Let's see that other options also. If you observe in option 2, so in this option, if we put it, this option places the sentence before discussing tax incentives. Starting with a potential decrease in unemployment would disrupt the logical flow uh, because it jumps ahead of explaining the government's economic policies. And option 3, where if we see, this option suggests placing the sentence after discussing infrastructure, right, projects. While relevant to economic development, it doesn't flow as naturally as option 1, which directly follows the discussion of tax incentives and job creation. Uh, because after that, it is stated this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rate in the region. Option 4, if I point it, then what will happen? This option places the sentence after discussing the government's long-term economic strategy. Placing it here would make it seem like an afterthought rather than a direct consequences of the tax incentives discussed earlier. But at the same time, um, if we look into the idea, uh, placement of the sentence after the discussion of the tax, incentives, and job creation provides a continuity discussion, right? Discussing the potential impact on unemployment rates. And this sentence highlights a potential consequence of the government's economic policies. Option 1, right, uh, would would be uh, not the correct or suitable because placing the sentence about a potential decrease, right, in unemployment rates, potential decrease unemployment rates in uh, after discussing tax incentives, does not provide a clear connection. The flow of information would be disrupted, isn't it? The government of country X recently announced a series of tax incentives aimed at attracting foreign investors to stimulate economic growth. Now, after that, this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates in the region, so which will be not considered the correct fixation, right? But if you observe the next one, these incentives include tax breaks for companies establishing operation in specific industry, such as renewable energy and technology. Then after in option 3, uh, in option 2, if we place it, this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rate in the region. So could be okay, but as a result, it is anticipated that more jobs will be created. Okay. Uh, in these sectors, contributing to overall economic prosperity. Furthermore, the government plans to invest in infrastructure projects to support the expansion of this industry. Uh, then this development could support the expansion of these industries. This development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates in the region. No. So this initiative aligns with the government's long-term strategy to diversify the economy and reduce this dependency on traditional sectors such as agriculture and manufacture. Okay. So if we look into the option 3, placing the sentence here after discussing the government's plan to invest in infrastructure project does not provide a logical flow. The sentence does not directly relate to the content discussed in the preceding sentence about infrastructure investment. Option 4. This option would not be appropriate because placing the sentence here after discussing the government's long-term right, economic um, strategy does not provide a clear connection. So the sentence uh, does not directly relate to the content discussed in the preceding sentence about economic diversification. Hence, we could just say that we could refer to the what? The government of country X recently announced series of tax incentives aimed at attracting foreign investors to stimulate economic growth. Uh, this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment rates. Is it a decrease or increase in unemployment rate in the region? This incentive include tax breaks for companies establishing operation in specific industry, such as renewable energy and technology. Essentially, as a result, it is anticipated that more jobs will be created in these sectors in contributing to rural economy. So we could say that as for the idea, we can say furthermore, the government plans to invest in infrastructure projects to support the expansion of these industries, and this development could potentially lead to a decrease in unemployment uh, rates in the region. Okay, these incentives include tax breaks. So finally, we can consider that furthermore, the government plans to invest in so and so support the expansion of these industries. Okay. So yes, we could get the idea that tax breaks for companies establishing operation in specific industries such as renewable energy and technology, and decrease in unemployment rates uh, in the region. As a result, it is anticipated. So we can say that option 2 would be appropriate, right? So here we can say the idea is very clear that what when we are talking about the second one, uh, placement of the sentence here after the discussion of tax, right? Incentives and job creation provides a continuity to discussion the potential impact of unemployment rates. So this sentence highlights a potential consequence of the government's economic policies. So in that case, in option 2, it is justified. It is wrong to or option 1, this option would not be suitable. In option 1, it is not suitable. Even in option 3 and 4, would not be appropriate because placing the sentence after discussing the government's long term, or you call that discussing the government's plan to invest in infrastructure project, does not provide a logical flow. So we consider that option 3 in blank 2 we can fit the sentence. Hope you understood. The answer option should be option 3, where option 2 is the blank. So that's all. Thank you.